While I do believe that the land rightfully belongs to the Jews, I do not think the moral obligation is sufficient reasoning to intervene in this conflict. As libertarians, non-interventionism is a key tenet of the philosophy. Why should we continue funding anything in the Middle East, even Israel, given our track record? And why is intervention on Judeo-Christian moral grounds permissible, although we have a separation of church and state?
Okay, so it's not intervention on the basis of Judeo-Christian morality per se, meaning if it were just on the basis of Judeo-Christian morality, then we would not be giving aid to any of the other countries in the Middle East, for example. We give aid to Saudi Arabia, we give aid to Egypt, we give aid to Jordan, we give aid to the Palestinians, some $300 to $400 million a year. By the way, I'd be much happier if we just cut off all aid. I mean, I think there's a strong case to be made, the Rand Paul case, that you just don't give foreign aid, period. But if you do give foreign aid, then the idea is that it's supposed to be in our national interest. Then the question becomes, is it in our national interest to be involved in the Middle East? And this is a question, I think, that was decided relatively conclusively on September 11th. Right? I mean, the idea that we can sort of retreat from the world and that we can just intervene in sort of policing actions, as the Clinton administration did, came home on 9/11, and 3,000 Americans died because of that. So the idea that a powerful America in the world is unnecessary, that we can retract within our own borders and that there won't be some enemy that comes and fills the space. By the way, that does have impact on commerce. That does have impact on our economics. It does have impact on how people live. Now, my view is sort of the view of the founding fathers, which is that we ought not be entangled in permanent alliances. We should always be looking to what is in our interest. But one of the things that defines our interest is the fact that we are a good country, right? We are great because we are good, is the idea that if we were to be a completely amoral country, then we would not be worth standing for. Right? We should be, to the best of our ability, balancing moral obligations that we have as the leader of the world, in which capacity we've liberated Europe twice, and in which capacity we've liberated the people of the Soviet Union, and in which capacity we have liberated the people of South Korea. You know, all of those things are great goods. I think it's one of the reasons why the United States is the beacon of the world and why it's something worth defending, not just on power grounds. So, but on a realism level, if we don't make more allies, then we have more enemies. If we don't back our allies, then those allies are likely to suffer catastrophic defeat. If we don't side with the countries that side with us, then we are likely to see those countries side with somebody else, and that puts us in a negative international position with regard to issues that a lot of libertarians do care more about than defense, things like trade, economics, and even culture.